number one is to graph our our situation. They're going to give you a focus and a directrix on all of your problems. You're going to take the focus and the directrix straight to your graph. That was our step number one. So I'm going to sketch my graph really quick, and I know that I have a focus at the point 0, -8, -2, 4, 6, and 8 on the graph. There's that point when x is 2, y is -8. Now I need to fill in my focus. It says that I have a focus at y equals 8. So I'm going to do the same thing up here, 2, 4, 6, and 8. There's 8 at the top, and that is going to be my line. So here's my directrix. Here's my focus, and I'm going to label this line directrix, label the point focus. And we know that the coordinate point vertex has to happen directly between these 2 points. So if I'm at -8 here and +8 here, my vertex has to be right here. We also know from the last slide that our vertex is going to be not only between these two, but our focus has to be inside. So that means that my parabola is going to open something like this. You can already tell that my a value on my equation is going to have to be negative because it's pointing down. The parabola is actually pointing down. So let's go to write this equation. I can actually just match up my pictures on this worksheet. It looks something like this when I write my equation, and I can see that we're going to be using y equals 1 over 4p times x minus h squared plus k. So we know our focus and our directrix because we already wrote those lines out here. Then we have a parabola that's opening down, so we know our p-value has to be less than 0. Let's go ahead and figure out all of these numbers. I'm going to write my equation down here to start us. It is y equals 1 over 4 times p, x minus h squared plus k. There's my rule, and now let's go ahead and substitute in what we know. Alright, since we know h and k come from our vertex, we can look at our vertex, which is at 0, 0, and we can go ahead and substitute in those points. If it's next to the x variable, it has to be the x coordinate point, which was 0 up here. And then down here, if we have a k coordinate point, it's going to be associated with this y value, this other 0. Now that we've substituted in our vertex, let's look at our p-value. So they keep trying to get us to calculate this p-value again. And again, p is just the distance between your vertex and your focus. We can see from our chart again, you're going to need a p-value that's less than 0. The distance here from 0 to -8 is going to be -8. So we'll put that in for p, and you get y equals 1 over negative 32 x squared. And that's how you do it. Again, we're gonna take our focus, directrix, graph it out, find our vertex, and substitute into the equation. Let's try one more time on number 2 here. They give us a vertex at 0, 0 and a focus at 0, 1. So sketch a graph. Here's 0, 0. Here's 0, 1. This is where our focus is. If our focus is up here, it must mean our directrix is down here. And so from here, all we need to do is draw our graph. We know that the focus is inside of the parabola, so it's going to look something like that. Let's select our equation. It's going to be the one from up here that looks like this. Y equals 1 over 4p, and then we're going to substitute in. Again, we know our vertex is at 0, 0, so we substitute in those coordinate points. P is the distance from the vertex to the focus, and this was just up 1 unit. That means P is 1. I'll substitute that in. And now we're ready to write our equation. Y equals 1 over 4 x squared. All done.